So this is probably the shortest drive we've ever had. We're now at Valencia Travel Village, and you can only stay here for so long. So our so long is up. We're done. So we're moving down. We have to get out for a week before we can actually come back. Are you ready, Mark?
Yes, I am.
All right.
You know, I got that long trip. I don't want you to have to plan a bathroom break. I mean, it's 6 miles.
Yes,
what if halfway through I have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, that'd be awful. So we are going literally 6 miles down the road. It'll take us about 10 to 15 minutes to get there.
Right.
So it took us longer to pack up and get ready to go, but than it is to actually drive. But we've got to be out of this park for a week, and it's a California thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed it in other states too. You know, there's
a limit.
You know, they have to protect their interests, and if they're going to have a long-term stay relationship, they want to get to know you. They want to run credit checks. They want a commitment for a certain amount of time, and we would fail at all those.
so we're out in a limited day, but we're going to be back 1 week from today.
Right.
We will be back here
for another long-term stay until they kick us out again, and then I think we got one more after that. So
right. All right, let me go and move the car. We're ready to roll. Shortest drive ever. So 2 years ago when we were in California, we were at a KOA in Petaluma, and that's when we noticed that we could only stay so long. Actually, in that campground, we stayed for a month, but they only allowed us to pay 1 week at a time. So now we're here, and we can stay for so many weeks, but then they told us we needed to be out for 48 hours. And I would say most of the park actually is for long-term people. They might be here for months, even years, but I'm sure they go through a credit check, and this is the park's way of, well, doing good business, making sure that you're not going to cause trouble in the park and you'll be paying your bills. But whatever it is, we could only stay for so many weeks, and then we had to move on. And after a while, they actually did offer us a long-term spot, but it was in an area where they didn't have sewer, so we would have to be pumped out. And I guess we just didn't want to do that. But this time, we're leaving for a week. And actually, that's only because we're so big and there's just so many spots in this area that we actually fit. So Valencia Travel Village wasn't able to fit us in until another week later, which was fine because you can see Miles is totally enjoying being on the road running again. And so after a few weeks, it gives him a chance to move his wheels.
all this just to go to the store for a loaf of bread.
And there it is. We made it in 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Like I said, shortest drive day ever. So as you can see, this park is pretty tight. There really isn't any place for a big rig just to pull in. So we're kind of taking up space right in the drive area. And right here is our site. And to get into that, we had to do some maneuvering. So today we are on a biking adventure. We're actually in Castaic, California right now. That's about 45 miles north of the LA area. And as you can see, Mark is out here already. But we all know that I was out here first, so. So we're actually going to a the Castaic Recreation Area, which is, it's a gem in California. It's a beautiful dammed lake, and it's got trails and a dam and 2 lakes to it, and we're off to investigate it. We actually are at Castaic Lake RV Park, which is only 1 mile away from the recreation area, and we actually took a walk there the other day. It was so beautiful, and it has a beautiful dam. We thought, well, we need to bike this and cover more territory. So that is our mission today. All right, he just went inside. A delay. Well, there you are.
Well, you know, one of the things we always talk about on the channel is when you're going to drive your monster in with $872 tires, that at least if you're driving on a grass environment, you want to check the grass to make sure there aren't any tent poles or anything that was left over from, for instance, if they had a rig next door and the kids and everything were in the tent, you could be driving over some tent poles. And I'm sure I've irritated Sue more than once. We'll be walking around a campground and I'm walking and we're talking and we might be having a serious talk about, you know, the meaning of life. And all of a sudden I bend down and I pick up a screw or a bolt or something that's laying in the road. So while Sue's videotaping this, check out what I found here.
Really?
Yeah. And Sue probably drove over this a couple times already.
What?
It'd be nice that it was laying flat, but here's a freaking razor laying here, you know.
Okay, good thing I'm not barefoot at this park. Good
Come on, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I have to clean my glasses. Girl's got to know where she's going, right?
All right, well, set up this episode. What are we doing now?
The beauty of what we're doing today is it's rare that we actually get to leave from the RV park to our destination on our bikes. Usually we're loading up our bikes and we're hitting a trailhead and then going. So our bikes are out. We're going to ride a mile down the road and hit the recreation area for Castaic Lake.
Right. The way I understand it, this isn't particularly a long trail, but we're going to make it long because we're going to zig and zag and zig and zag.
There's a lot to see, a lot to see. So the tricky thing is that 1 mile to get there. It's a busy highway, but we're going to hit the road. The worst of it is that we're going to have to dodge a bunch of poles and signs and stuff on the sidewalk, but it's better dodging a pole than having a car hit us. So that's our plan.
We're getting a pretty good early start, aren't we, honey?
Oh my God. I would have been there by now, okay?
What time is it?
No, it's, I don't know, what is it? Pushing noon.
All right, let's get going.
Let's do it. All right, so this is like, what, the 10th time we've come in?
What's wrong with you?
Opened up and locked. Well, you know, as I'm waiting for you to turn the water off, I'm like, God, my lips are chapped.
Yeah.
Girl's got to moisten her lips.
Well, I understand that one, but then what are some of the other times? Oh, we're going to a park, so we wanted to be ready if we have to pay some fees. So I raided the laundry account and
that's right.
took
Get
10 singles out of there.
Get another layer, another jacket, because it's a little chilly. So.
And then if that takes long enough, then you got to go to the bathroom again. And then sometimes I go in there just because I figured I forgot something, but I can't remember what it was, so I just walk around aimlessly. All right, let's get going.
Truth behind that.
Okay. Let's go. Make sure the kickstand is up. Kickstand up. All right, you want me to ride by you?
Yeah, go and then take off that way.
All right, and you guys thought it was easy being a YouTuber. You got to do your life over many times twice. All right, let's do it together, and let's pretend it's original.
So here we are at Castaic Lake State Recreation Area. And we're on the southern end right now, which actually will lead us down this road to the campground and up towards the dam. So we're going to head around to the east side of the lake, and then we'll explore more of the park.
Really, really windy. Not sure if we'll be able to use this sound, but I can tell you that one of the things that Sue and I are discovering that we weren't used to living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was how important flood control and getting water to the area that you live in is. We live next to Lake Michigan. We just stuck a little straw in there from Milwaukee and we had water for the rest of our lives. We also didn't have any flood control issues, but around here, man, they got everything going on. Earthquakes, fires, we need water, flood control. The only thing they don't have to worry about is snow.
Castaic Lake State Recreation Area, boy, say that 10 times fast, is a reservoir of the State Water Project. It's one of the project's actually largest recreational lakes, and it has 29 miles of shoreline. A major attraction of the park actually is the 425-foot tall Castaic Dam, and let me tell you, pictures don't do it justice. So there is a fee to get into the park, as most state parks, but if you're on a bike or walking, it is free. Castaic Lake actually is two bodies of water. The lower lake, which is also called the lagoon, is for non-power boating and canoeing. So we're going to explore what's going on the east side of the lagoon today. And at a later time, we're going to go across the lagoon. That's where a lot of the recreation is happening. Plus, the upper lake has a lot going on because it's so much bigger. We'll check that out later on too. So as you can see, on the east side of the lagoon, this is where you can launch your boat, again, non-powered. And the fishing is really supposed to be fantastic on these two lakes also. So it's really nice because there are a number of restrooms here, but how about this for a spotting? Wow, a relic from the past.
All fees must be paid by checkout time 10 a.m. Howdy.
Hi.
So, this is a cool campground.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, we got a 44-footer. We wouldn't work real good in here, but I can imagine in non-COVID summer, this must be packed all the time.
Oh yeah, we sell out the 3-day weekends. We sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sell out, and then this parking lot right here, which is a 24-hour lot.
Yeah.
People can fish off the pier all night long.
Oh,
Huh.
wow.
On 3-day weekends, this lot sells out, and the campground sells out.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, non-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The campgrounds are actually divided into 3 different lots. And when we looked online, it looked like our rig, being 44 feet, wouldn't fit in here at all. But when we were talking to the attendant, she said that actually 16 and 17 would fit our rig. And she also said that those were her favorite sites because they face west and you have a perfect view of a sunset. So we're going to make our way through the campgrounds, check them out, and we're going to head up to 16 and 17. Maybe we'll try it out. So these are the campsites, and it kind of looks like you need to parallel park to be in here. Just like this person. So because they're open just at 50% because of COVID, you can see every other campsite is closed. But look at that view.
So I went ahead on our adventure, so I don't know what Sue talked about. So Sue, you can cut this out if you already talked about it. But this is a prime example of when you're figuring out what kind of RV you want. You have to decide if you're a tourist, if you're a camper, if you're a tourist that wants to find secret little camping places like this
This is a gem.
tucked
Yeah.
within the urban area. I mean, you literally, if you have a small enough rig, if you have a Travato, a Class B, or a really small Class C like this one here, These are, what, $30 a night,
Right.
and there's no electric. Apparently you can use generator for certain hours, because that person there, either that one or the one behind it, has their generator hooked up. It's kind of hanging on the back. But I mean, can you imagine how beautiful this is? Sunrises, sunsets. You got this great breeze here. If you want to take a swim, you can just jump in your bike and go right across, and you look, there's a beach right across the street there. I mean, this is
Lake.
yeah. I mean, this is the type of thing that we can't do. We're not necessarily complaining, because we're old enough that we're pretty satisfied and we're really happy. We did the research we did to get what we have and how we RV, but I'm telling you, there are plenty of people that would not like the way we do it and would not be happy. So you kind of got to decide on the type and the size of places you want to sneak into, and then tailor your equipment to that.
So actually, what did she say? They do take like 40-foot RVs here. We're too big.
Well, okay, so like this guy here, he obviously was in here somewhere. And it all depends on your comfort level. I mean, when you go with me, Sue, across this break here, you'll see a longer one there, but it literally is parked this way, and it's taking like 2 spots, and I think they're able to get away with that maybe because of how it is now. But I mean, there's no way we'd have to buy 2 spots, and then.
You know, I didn't notice that. It is parking at an angle. You see the lines here.
Right, and what you're going to find as an RVer is you're going to find that the people that are running some of these facilities like this that really aren't RVers, because, you know, they're young lads or young ladies or men, and they're not RVers, they don't look at the requirements that you really need when you're driving something big, especially if it's unusable without opening up. I mean, we've got a friend that literally is going to take a delivery on a rig tomorrow or the next day, and we're going to be filming that. Hi, Cindy. Her rig is such that unless she opens up one of her slides, she can't get at her refrigerator. So there are certain rigs also that even if they could fit in here, if they can't deploy, you really can't use it.
Yeah.
A lot of things to think about.
So I did say it looks like they're parallel parking here, but I'm guessing that's because every other site is closed, so you can do that. But looking at this, there's no way. She said 40 feet. There must be some back there.
There are, honey. Like right in front of us. You see lines to lines. But they have some fantasy that somehow you can parallel park a Dutch Star. If you, for instance, came to this campground and you pulled in and this car wasn't here, and you were able to take that and then nose out so that you could get out, maybe if you had a 40-footer, you could do it, but you couldn't do it with a 40-footer here if that one was taken and this one was taken. You know, it's not like you can. Come
on, you could do it, Margot. You can do it. So we got parallel parking on the right here, but it looks like at a diagonal over here.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you got to take all of our advice with a grain of salt, because this is the guy that's afraid to go in the Walmart parking lots because I don't want a stray shopping cart coming after me.
Good point. Point made. This is kind of cool. It looks like their outdoor entertainment area. Got a big fire pit and a stage. Nice. Kumbaya. So now we're making our way over to Lot B Campground. And you have to admit, going along the lake like this, you really have no bad views. It's beautiful. So Lot B looks pretty much the same as Lot A. So we're going to just ride through here and head up to Lot C, which is the closest campground to the dam. And this is where they say 16 and 17 are big enough to fit us. We'll see. All right, a little further, where are we? A little further north, we've got a picnic area and yet another campground. It's almost appear like they'd be for tents. Not really sure though. From what I read on the website, the fishing's supposed to be really good here. And they do have cleaning stations, which is really nice. So this is the end of the campground area. It's on the far north side of the lagoon. And we were told by one of the rangers that this area right here is probably the best camping because look how open it is. And right across there is the west. So she says the sunsets are phenomenal.
And I'm chomping at the bit to go on the other side of that dam and look at the way it is. And I'm envisioning, you know, how well is it maintained? What happens if it opens up? How much water is in there? What happens downstream?
But unfortunately,
yeah,
the road that takes us there,
right,
closed to the public, can't get in there.
right. And Sue and I are rule followers.
We are. Plus there's barbed wire over the fence.
Right.
We're not doing that.
You know what they say about the water that's on the other side? It's the best damn water you ever had.
Oh, Mark. Marco. The adventure continues. And here we are at Campground C, and we really did want to ride our bikes up to the dam. And we could, maybe, if we went all the way back here and took this road all the way up. And you can see it does wind all the way up there, and it is steep, but it will get you up to the parking lots on the top. But after talking to the attendant earlier, we thought, maybe we don't want to take our bikes.
So we're thinking of riding to this road and then taking the road up there to get a good look to see what the dam looks like on the other side.
Those electric bikes?
Yeah.
You guys have yellow on, so that's a good thing.
Is the road got any shoulder at all to ride, or
Not
kind of?
really, no.
So from here to we got to go, how far of a
About
distance?
a mile and a half.
Oh, that far, eh?
Yeah.
So we decided to turn around from sites 16 and 17 and start heading back. And instead of going through the campgrounds, there's a road that's above that. And this would actually be the road we would bring in if we were to bring Miles in here. So you get a pretty good view of what the campsites look like from up here. Plus you get a nice view of the lake too. And that is about it for now. There's so much more in this recreation area that we want to show you. So we're going to leave all that for part 2. And we're actually going to go up to the dam too, but we decided we're going to do it another day and just take the van up there. So stay tuned, part 2, Castaic Lake Recreation Area. Thanks for joining us. Come on, give me a call.